Hi, Brandon Henning, Director of Product Management from Sparta Systems, here today to talk to you about some results from our recent survey that we worked with pharmaceutical technology on, discussing some of the key objectives that our quality business partners have as they look at going into 2018. So what you can see up here is what we basically have are the key results from the survey. The first one being that there's still a huge focus on compliance, which we'll talk about in a minute. Again, you would expect that compliance is always a driver for quality professionals. Another one is what the industry drivers are that are really impacting them and how they think about moving from compliance into more supporting their business and what that means to them and what pressures they're going to experience as that happens. Another thing that came out of the survey, which is newer for the industry, is this focus on performance. So traditionally, quality's always been focused on compliance, but as you look at where companies are going into the future, they're starting to think about what their responsibility is in helping drive operational as well as financial performance for their companies. And then the need for better technology so that they can drive some of their defined data objectives that they have going into 2018. So the first part of the survey is all about compliance, right? So as you'd expect, in talking to quality professionals, they're still very focused on compliance, and they're focused on compliance for many reasons. In fact, 74% of the quality people that we talked to or that answered this survey continue to drive compliance, and it's really because of all the things that they need to do to maintain compliance in the industry. Whether it's managing submissions for new drugs, whether it's maintaining the existing quality that's required to keep drugs they have in the market going, or being able to take those into new markets as they look at expanding globally, or whether it's some of the new regulatory pressure coming in from the FDA around regulatory information management and some of the things that the FDA is bringing in as new objectives. Quality folks are still very much focused on compliance and continue to be focused on what they need to do to ensure quality compliance as the main objective of what they try to achieve as part of their everyday job. The next topic that came out of the survey that they were very focused in is what are the industry drivers that are going to put pressure on how we execute quality. And what came out of the survey that they're talking about is they're thinking about things like global pressure and how they're going to manage global pressure. And we see that as well as we talk to many of our customers and we look at what's happening in the market. There's a lot of pressure globally, and it really comes in two contexts that really kind of drive what you're doing from a quality perspective. One is expansion. The other is how do we, as a quality organization, help drive some of these other objectives that we're going to talk about in a minute as we are faced with the fact that there's more and more pressure from new pharmaceutical companies popping up all over the world that are starting to compete with some of the traditional companies that we would normally work with. Expiring patents is another one. Again, that drives pressure and it drives quality to continue to help figure out ways that they can drive quality performance to help drive down the overall cost of producing a drug as they look at what happens when patents roll off and the impact that has on price. Headcount. So quality professionals continue to be focused on headcount and the pressures they're getting from headcount, which rolls right into the pressures that they're getting from their budget. The third objective, and this is kind of a new one that we're starting to see come out of our surveys, is a focus on performance and the fact that quality departments and quality individuals are now really starting to feel that they have an impact on how the company performs, both from an operational perspective as well as a financial perspective. In fact, 40% of the respondents believe that helping to support financial objectives is part of their goal as a quality organization. And how they plan to do that is to do things in quality that help support operational efficiency. So as opposed to just reactive quality and things in terms of CAPAs and executing CAPAs, well, they're really starting to look at how can they support the business with proactive quality and really moving into quality procedures that help ensure that the product meets the quality standard before it's even released. How they can support manufacturing and help drive more operational efficiency in manufacturing, and how they can kind of change the way they think about quality and what that means to a quality department as they're looking at what they have to do to actually support the overall performance of an organization. The last point in the survey was all about technology and the need that quality professionals are going to have around technology as they look at really kind of changing their focus to not just maintaining compliance, but really around some of the defined data objectives that they have going into 2018. And a lot of the reason why we find that they have these data-driven objectives is really because you need data to maintain compliance. You need data to be able to efficiently drive a quality system, especially as they look at the other pressures that they're focusing on from a quality perspective based on data that we talked about early in the survey. So as you look at their need to help drive operational excellence and help drive performance, as you look at the pressures that they're under from a regulatory perspective as well as a headcount and budget perspective, it gets more challenging every day to maintain compliance and do it in an efficient, proactive way. And one of the best ways to do that is to have data and be able to really analyze what's going on and be able to focus and target your quality initiatives around the areas where you're having problems. What that leads into is better data analysis. So we're finding that companies and quality personnel, and certainly the respondents to our survey, really are looking for better data analysis. And that comes back to the 51% define data objectives and data analysis as key in going into 2018. And what the other thing that this helps support is how they're going to manage their supply chain. Because the other thing that we've learned in talking to quality professionals and looking at the responses from our survey is about 55% of all quality issues are actually due to something that happened at the supplier site from an ingredient that came in from a supplier or something that a CMO did. So without having good data and being able to have the technology in place to look at what's going on across your supply chain, it's hard for quality professionals to meet some of the goals that we talked about and drive some of the objectives that we've talked about earlier in the survey, as well as respond to some of the industry pressures that they're seeing. So technology will continue to be a key driver as we go forward. So in closing, these are just a few points that we pulled out of the survey that we did. Thank you for listening to our podcast today, and if you'd like more information, please come out to the Sparta Systems website and download our 2018 Quality Outlook report.